Hello, thanks for joining me again. This week I'm going to tie a little sedge pattern that I'd taken a photograph on Facebook, and a couple of people have asked me to do a step by step for it. So this is the size 12. I'm going to tie in a size 12 today, but you can tie this fly down to an 18 and it'll catch fish for you. This is the 18 version. So exactly the same fly but just in a much smaller size. I just thought for instructional purposes it would be better to tie it in the bigger size. So I'm going to put in the vise. This is a Hanak B130 barbless hook and it's at size 12. The thread I'm going to be using is the Fish-On's Ultimate Tying Silk, and it's a black sort of silk. And first thing I'm going to do is add a little touch of super glue at the shank of the hook. I had a question on the channel actually the other day asking why I put the super glue onto the hook shank when I'm using this thread when I've got wax there, and the truth of the matter is the super glue just does a better job than the wax. So that's the reason that I do that. So on this sedge, it has a small tail, and I'm using the Fish-On ultra dry yarn, and this is the light orange. Now it's quite thick when it comes out the packet, so all I'm going to do is take my bodkin needle here and just split that slightly. I'm not going to discard the other piece because I can use that in the wing. So I'll just take the ends here, and I'm going to just quickly bring my thread all the way up to about 1/8 of an inch from the eye of the hook, catch that tail in, and then bring my tying silk back down to approximately where the barb of the hook would be. Next I'm going to trim my tail up, and I want to come in just at the bend of my hook, and I've got myself a little tail there. Okay, next thing then is to add some body material, and I'm just going to use some of Andrew's Scruffy Dubbing, and this is the natural boosted. You only need a very small amount of this, so I'm just going to dub that onto my thread, like so, and then I can bring that up the body. If I need a bit more, I can just add it as I go. So catch that in, and again just bring it up, and that's just about right for this fly. I'm just taking any of the longer fibres out of my way. So next I am going to use some beeswax at this point, and the reason I'm using beeswax rather than super glue is this grips materials much better. So the piece of ultra dry yarn that I had left over, I'm just going to grab that, just straighten it up slightly, and I'm going to catch that in just there, like so. So it's a little long for my requirements, so I can come in with my snips, and I want to cut it just slightly shorter than the tail, so it sits like that. Next I'm going to use 2 fibres of CDC feather. This is the Hanak CDC. It's just natural, and I've already taken a couple of feathers out of the bag in preparation, and all I want to do is catch that in just slightly longer than my orange underwing. Once I've got that secured in, I can then come with my snips and take it away. Okay, next I'm going to take another tiny little pinch off the Dobbin, and I'm literally going to just put 1, 2 turns in, 3, and that's just how I want it. So I've got that in there like so. Next, I'm going to add some deer hair. Now I've already snipped a small piece of this off and put it into my deer stacker. And the reason for that is I didn't want to tap it on the table because it moves the camera and it moves the fly. So I want it to keep everything in focus. So I'm just going to take this out. I've got it stacked here. Put that off to the side. Now just dress it up. Now I like it not to go any further than the length of the entire fly. So that's about right. So I'm going to grab it in my left hand and I'm going to trim away, just off camera here, I'm going to trim away my excess. Now just dress it up again. Once I'm happy I've got it in the right place, I'm going to add plenty of wax again just to grip the deer hair here. And the thing I like about the old silk, the tying silk, is you can really clamp down. And I'm just going to figure a way through the deer hair until I get a nice tight purchase on. So that's looking not too bad. Now I want a little sighter on this. There's nothing worse, especially with the smaller size flies, or if you intend to use this to fish duo, you want to be able to see it. So what I'm going to use for my sight post is a little tiny bit of arrow wing. This is the pink, and I'm just going to take a little strand of this off the card. Now you don't need much. So I'm going to catch in a couple of turns and I'm going to pull that through, and then I can hide the rest of it in a bit. So just make sure you've clamped it down, and I'm going to trim this before I go any further. You don't need a big huge sighting post, just enough to see it on the water. So let me just open my vise up and have a look at what I've got. Yeah, it's looking not too bad. Then I just want to bury the rest of the material I've got on the side here. And if need be, you can come in with your snips and just trim that away. Okay, last but not least, I've loaded up a small amount of the scruffy Dobbin in my clip here, and all I'm going to do is open up my thread to make a dubbing loop, he says, failing to open up the thread that time. It can be a bit finicky sometimes, especially at this angle. When I'm filming, it's not a natural angle for me to be tying at, so sometimes it takes me a little bit longer to do stuff that would normally take just a second. So catch that in and spin it up. Now this is a bit too heavy for my needs, so I'm just going to come in with my fingers and lightly remove the fibres that I don't need, pull everything out the way, and then I can pull everything back at the end. Then again, just to finish off, I'm going to put a little bit of super glue on my thread. You can use UV resin, or if you've got a whip finish tool, and you're confident you can whip finish. But I'll just do that. Put a nice half hitch in and then snap it away. And there you have a very effective sedge pattern on its own. You could fish it on its own. I fished the small ones just as a single fly. But if you're of a mind to, it makes a great sighter fly if you're fishing duo. So there we go. I hope that's been of some use to you. Thanks very much for watching. If you've just subscribed to the channel, welcome. I hope you stick around and see what else I've got in store. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.